Word up.
Yo, Longhairs. Welcome to episode 114 of Let It Ride. Here we talk long hair and business, advocate for hair equality, and celebrate men's long manes with hair whips and high fives. If you're a guy with long hair,
you're in the right place.
Here at the Longhairs HQ, it's football season, baby, and the dogs are back in action.
That's Fresno Bulldogs.
Fresno State Dogs, baby.
It's wearing it.
I'm El Rubio, co-founder and CEO of the Longhairs. On my left is the president and my fellow co-founder, El Moreno.
Hello.
And this episode marks 444 consecutive weeks of delivering dope original content for guys with flow because we are playing the long game.
Yeah.
Our guest on this episode has contributed to that feat, first appearing on Let It Ride in 2018 when he was 16 years old. In the early stages of his own content journey, though he started growing long hair when he was 9. He's been a guest author on the Longhairs blog, who taught us that we lose up to 125 hairs per day on average so we can chill out because hair shedding is perfectly normal. And he's inspired millions of young longhairs worldwide with his breakthrough guest post on long hair and confidence. His mom, Tina, even contributed an eloquently penned article about what it's like to be the mom of a long hair. We sure appreciate that.
Thanks, Mom.
The co-founder and principal of Craylor Made. He is a technology journalist, entrepreneur, content creator, YouTube star, and drummer on the side. From the Third Coast in Nashville, Tennessee, site of El Chuckarino's infamous bachelor party, a long hair for life. His given name is Christian Taylor, but here at the Longhairs, we call him El Valiente.
What's up, dog?
What's up? I don't know what to do after that intro. That was incredible.
Gotta make a YouTube video, dude.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
video
sure.
makers. Christian, it's been a long time coming. Welcome to the Longhairs HQ and Let It Ride.
Thank you. It's great to be here in person.
Yeah, man.
This is a lot bigger than when you guys started, huh?
Oh, yes, quite a bit.
Considerably. Trust the flight in from Nashville was uneventful yesterday.
Super smooth.
All right. Well, it's great to have you. We felt a light descending upon San Diego yesterday. We knew that your flight was arriving. So why don't you just kick it off? Tell us a little bit about Craylor Made. You've been a content creator for many years. That's kind of how we got introduced on the YouTube channels. What is your brand and what is it that you do?
Yeah, so Craylor Made is my YouTube channel where I talk all things online tech, entrepreneurship. I do a lot of content on WordPress, website builders, VPNs, a lot of like online security tools. Tends to be a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs that come across my content and find it helpful when they're doing research. And yeah, I've been making videos for over 10 years. I think I just hit 11 years the other day, which is crazy. But
amazing. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. It's been a wild ride. I've pivoted many times with niches, and I still feel like I'm kind of all over the place with my passions and what I would love to make videos on. But yeah, that's Craylor Made.
Dude, your YouTube channel is extraordinary. I mean, I'm just scrolling through this. I could not even find the first video published. Even just scrolling through it, you can see just your progression from the early days of creating content to now you see just the consistency with the titles and the thumbnails and the compelling copy. And you just really have gotten it into a process here. And at the age of 21 years of age, this man has been creating content for 11 years now.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, man. Really impressive.
Thank you.
So what has been, we've had our streak, you got your streak going. What are some of the roadblocks that, and how have you overcome them of keeping that consistency and always coming up, with ideas and putting videos out and getting the content out there?
Oh man. I would say, early on the roadblocks were just, what do I talk about? You know, feeling like I'm running out of ideas, getting down to, this is, I need a post this week. What do I do? Let me just pull something out of the brain and slap together a lackluster video. And, the longer I've been doing it, I've got enough ideas kind of constantly flowing that I've got like, 50 or 60 ideas on a spreadsheet at any given time. But I'd say the biggest roadblock now is just keeping all the balls moving forward.
Okay.
Like saying, okay, we've written a video, we recorded it, we're editing it, and like the next video needs to be written while all this is happening. And being a primarily one-man shop, I have an awesome creative director who helps out, but 1.5 man shop, I guess, because he's part-time. It's a lot of balls to keep moving forward and not let stuff fall behind and keep everything running.
And then you always have
We got the
stuff
strobe.
that happens,
Yeah, we got
like
the strobe light, I
lights
know.
going off and, things that come up out of nowhere, right?
Power goes out in the middle of a shoot. It's like, oh, there's our lighting.
Have you done like whole videos and been like, wow, didn't even record the audio on
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Yes. Many times.
Yeah. That's just all part of it, right? You gotta roll with it, just like we are right now. If you're not watching the video, if you're just listening, our lights are just shutting on and off like it's a dance party in here.
It's a strobe.
We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna start over.
Yeah.
Just let
The
it
the content machine will continue to produce.
roll. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Despite all resistance factors, lighting or otherwise.
Good thing we got Garv on it. He's back here trying to dial it in.
I think our rolling blackouts, our power supply is having issues or something here.
Gavin Newsom shutting us down.
Hey, but we continue on. Christian, just looking through, first of all, for someone who's starting out as a content creator, looking at your page could be a little bit intimidating because you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many videos, I can never do that many. But it's the time, it's the long game, it's doing it over time. But just scrolling through, I could see that you have some big hitters in the tens of thousands of views and maybe a couple in the hundreds of thousands and some big hitters. But there's a lot of videos on here that are 300 views or 400 views or even some of the older ones only 50 views or something. Talk about just continuing to produce even when maybe one of them is not a smash hit or doesn't get 1,000 views right out of the gate.
Yeah. I mean, for me, YouTube has always been a passion. So it's been something that no matter how many views I get, I'm always going to be creating content. And what I will tell people who are starting out is like, don't go into YouTube or content creation if you're in it for the money at the start. Like, of course, we all aspire to like do content creation full time and, maybe someday make a living off of it. But when I started doing YouTube, I was so passionate about it where I was envisioning, I'm going to make my YouTube video every week. And then, when I graduate high school, I'll have some sort of career and I'll make my videos on the weekends. Cause that's how I was thinking of it is this is something I love doing. I'll figure out something else for a career. Then by the time I graduated high school, oddly enough, it became my career. But it never was about the money right out of the gate. And I think that goes such a long way with content creation is just what's your motive? If you're seeing it as a cash grab opportunity, like, I do this for 6 months and I get all these subscribers, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. You mentioned something. You said you made a decision at some point to do one video a week. Was that pretty deliberate?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. You've stuck to it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of advice from people over the years, channels. There's a guy named Roberto Blake. He does a lot of YouTube coaching on his channel. And, all these people who are influential in the YouTube coaching space have said consistency is the number one factor to growing a channel. I mean, if you're posting one video every 3 months, it's just not frequent enough for an audience to start getting engaged. And, for a while, I actually battled with feeling like I need to post 3 or 4 times a week. But eventually what I figured out is it's more about consistency in general. I think once a week is a great starting point and honestly great for a lot of content creators who have sort of higher end production value. Like, I don't just put a phone on a tripod and record. Like, if someone's doing that, maybe you can get 3 videos a week out.
Sure.
My videos take a bit more work. But I think it's figuring out for your niche, what can you reasonably achieve? Once a week is a great like base reference point, but I see channels that post once a month and they're crushing it because they're making like cinematic, almost indie films as their content. So they're only able to make one a month. But, just setting the expectation with your audience, getting in a groove, and having them know when to come back to your channel and expect a piece of content is really important.
Definitely.
Smart stuff, man. This is all the same things that we've been learning over the past 8 years with the Longhairs. And I mean, it really rings true, man.
Yep. And it's tough when you have like multiple platforms and they're all kind of a little different. I mean, we've always put that once a week emphasis on our blog.
Yep.
And then sometimes, video also goes on our YouTube channel, but it's really associated with the blog. We've had good stretches where we've been super consistent with our YouTube, like publishing once a week. And then you see like the spike that happens in the growth with that. But yeah, it's all about just keeping that consistency no matter what platform you're trying to focus on. And it's just pretty awesome that you started at such a young age, and you're so far ahead of like where we were, for example. So like you're 21 right now, and where are you going to be when you're 31? You do another 10 years of this, and when you look at like how much your videos have evolved, like, man, and we're in 31, it's like who cares where you're at right now, right? Because in like the next 5 years, it's going to be a whole nother level. 5 years after that, whole nother level. And being able to see that long game is just it's awesome, man. It's a great message and way to just show through the work
absolutely
of how to do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what is the 5-year kind of vision for yourself? Are you going to stick in the tech sphere, or you branching out into other kind of business things?
Well, long term, I'd really love to have multiple channels with different topics and niches that I'm passionate about. So I think for now, it's just growing my current channel to where it's big enough that I can start hiring editors, writers, and be able to launch, say, a channel on finance. I love talking finance, investing, credit cards, that niche, and, a channel on faith. I'm a Christian. I love talking about the Bible and stuff like that. And so I want to get to a place where I can branch out, but I want to be able to do that on separate channels, have separate audiences, just be like very focused in on each audience. And eventually I would love to launch products. I have no idea what that looks like, but I'm like, I want something that's unique and original and is just like better than what anybody else is doing for that particular product. Yeah. So I literally have zero ideas right now, but I'm like, when I get to a point, I'll like pick up a product out of a drawer and be like, I'm so sick of this crappy product. I have the resources to just do it better, and like my audience will love it or something.
Nice, man. Heck yeah. So you said that, this is like your full-time job. So you're getting some type of income from being a content creator.
Yeah.
And that took time to do that. Like, just so people can understand, like, what is a realistic, I think I saw on your Instagram, like, you bought a house, right?
I did, yes.
And that's just from doing what you're doing?
Yep, all
Impressive,
from YouTube
bro.
income. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, walk us through, like, kind of what that, you don't need to go specific into the numbers, but, like, what has that growth been like, and how have you sustained yourself financially by being a content creator?
Yeah, well, for me, I've been very fortunate that the timing lined up where right as I graduated high school, that's when I started seeing the income grow and being like, oh, this is maybe a career ? And I knew college wasn't for me. I had no interest in going, so I was sort of just taking a year or two to create regular content. I had my feet in maybe some other businesses or like potential avenues that I could go. And while that was happening, I just saw the YouTube income slowly growing. And really where it took off was the COVID shutdown. There was such an influx of views on YouTube. Like, I remember YouTube even had to set the default streaming quality to like 720p because their servers were so overwhelmed. And I'm like, if Google's servers are that overwhelmed and Google's just like one of the biggest tech corporations, like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I remember like everything surged. I mean, we're talking like 5 to 6x revenue
Wow.
almost overnight. And I
Nice.
was like, this has to be a fluke. You know, I was treating it as like, I got my lucky break, you know, I'll save a little money and do something cool with it. And like next month, it's just going to go back to where it was. And it continued and it
Okay.
continued and it continued. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And, you know, eventually, probably 5 or 6 months after the COVID shutdown, things did fizzle out a little bit and kind of return to a normal level from just an insane high. But the normal level was still 3x where it was
Sure.
before the surge.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I've noticed with YouTube, with both views and income, is you almost have this baseline where after every surge in views and sometimes income that comes with it, it's like it goes up, it comes down, but then like the baseline that it settles at is higher than where it was before.
Right.
It's just so weird, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Dude, you would not have been in position for that huge
No.
success if you had not already made 200 videos or 150 of your first videos and have your channel set up and been doing it every week so that when that surge came, you were ready,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And it's just another of many of these examples that you're sharing with us of why that consistency of just how that is the path of putting in the work, doing the video every week, and it's eventually going to pay off. It's not
Yeah.
going to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
Your situation that you just described was incredible, just because it doesn't usually happen like that with some like massive surge or some external thing like COVID that happened for you. But you were ready for it when the time came, and you were able to lean into it. And the timing, right, with graduating high school, shoot, man, it really has worked out well.
Absolutely. And, you know, the crazy thing is, this still blows my mind. The video that really took off during the shutdown was a VPN comparison. I published it in either November or December of 2019. So like right before all this interest picked up on it. And I almost didn't make that video. I got an email from a subscriber a couple months before saying, hey, you should make a VPN comparison. I think people would be interested in that. And, you know, my brain overthinking every piece of content I put out at the time, I was like, thanks for your suggestion, but that doesn't really fall within my niche, so I'm not going to make it. And he replies and goes, okay, that's fine, but you know, my brother has a YouTube channel on skating, and one time he created a different video on a topic that was like completely outside of his niche, but he found it interesting. He made the video and it blew up. So I just really think you should do it. And I don't know why I listened to this guy, random stranger who emailed me, but I thought, seems like a good idea. So I made this video, and that's the one. It may still be my #1 most viewed video on my channel. It broke 400,000 views.
Nice.
And I'm like, man, if I didn't make that video, I would not be where I am today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that one specifically. It's got to be about 2 years ago. But you're saying it's about 400,000?
Yep. If you sort by popularity, you'll
Okay,
find
okay.
it quick.
And then certainly once people saw that one, maybe the first time introducing to you, then they're going to watch a couple of the other ones and see that you're doing content on a lot of the topics that they're looking for. Everyone wanted to build their own website in COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, it just speaks to, you know, you never know when opportunity is going to come, and you need, and being ready for when that opportunity happens to not fault or fail or let it just slide through your fingers, you know?
Right.
And that's just that consistency, man. It gave you that ability to be ready for the opportunity. So like, you know, that's a huge video for you that propelled your channel, but like volume, right, is what it's about on YouTube to like make income. Maybe one video makes you like $2 a month, but then another one might make you a couple hundred, and it's really about all of the videos combined. Correct?
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Yep, all the evergreen content.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of my revenue comes from videos that are 12 to 18 months old.
Okay.
It's like I put them out, they cook in the oven for a year, and then for whatever reason, after that, YouTube's like, all right, now we're going to start pushing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I try to not pay too close attention to my current. That sounds wrong. I'm always looking at my stats and strategizing, but like I try not to let my initial performance of a video get to me if it's low, because I'm like, I've seen this time and time again. A video sits there for 6 months and then all of a sudden it starts getting views.
Yeah.
So I think of it as like every video I put out is another opportunity to have a video do well.
Yeah.
And the more videos you make, the more opportunities you have. So
Yeah.
you might as well start building that catalog.
Let it bake.
Totally.
Yes, dude. Our first piece of content like that was because we started out the same, very, very little views and engagement and attention and that sort of thing. Our first big time smash hit blog post was the uncomfortable truth about awkward stage hair. And that was before we really even knew much about SEO. I mean, we knew some, but we weren't really optimizing really specifically. And that one, took a little while. It baked in the oven for, I don't know, probably a year or longer. And we went back and optimized it, and we learned that, wow, this is driving, at that time, probably 60% of all of the traffic to our site. And to this day, I think, 10 or 15,000 unique users find the Longhairs through that one blog post. So they're not all going to be a smash hit ever.
Right.
You're going to get a couple of home runs here and there,
Yeah.
but we're just trying to hit singles, trying to go up to the plate, have a good at bat every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've noticed, in your massive library, that about 98% of your videos you are wearing a Longhairs hat.
Repping
Yes.
it, dude.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. But, tell us why. Out of all the options of hats,
Well, it's the only hat that I've worn where I don't feel like it's like crushing my head or like pulling my hair. Like so many hats, I'll put them on and it's just like the way they're shaped, It's like they're so shallow and like my hair hurts when I take it off at the end of the day. I'm like, I don't want to wear this. So this is like the only hat I've found where it's comfortable, doesn't pull my hair. It's kind of funny. I'm so used to wearing this hat now that like whenever I'm not wearing it, I'm like, something's missing. My like rain guard is not here. But I love the hats. It's my favorite
great
product from the Longhairs.
Heck yeah, man. We appreciate you rocking it hard in over 400 videos. So.
Showcasing the moose here today.
Yep.
A fan favorite, the earth tones, bringing them in.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have I know that you have a wide selection of
do.
the lids. One for everything you're wearing, probably.
Yeah, I just keep wearing this one though because I love the mesh back.
Okay.
It's like the air conditioned hat for the summer.
Yeah.
I have a confession. You guys may have seen. I did make a hat with my logo.
We did see that.
That is similar.
Yeah.
But I still love my Longhairs hats. It's
good.
Gotta rep the different brands.
Love
but
it, man.
Nothing will ever replace my.
I think I was trying to buy a Craylor made hat, wasn't I?
Yes,
We'll rep it, dude.
I
your
said
product
I was
right
gonna
there,
do.
bro.
I know. I said I was gonna do a run, and then that just got lost in the sea of weekly content. But I got
one ball that was not moved forward.
Yes.
There are a lot of balls out there. Got a lot of touches to make.
Yep. I got that whole moving the balls forward illustration from you. I don't know
really?
if you remember that, but we had a meeting a few years ago just chatting entrepreneurship and stuff. And
Yeah.
you gave me that analogy of like having all the balls on the table and pushing them all forward. And it's like burned into my memory.
Dude,
I always
that's
think
awesome.
about
It's
it.
burned into my memory from a different entrepreneur.
Okay.
Ace.
Ace, the founder of Knockaround Sunglasses. I can't remember what episode it was before the Great Cut, and he explained that concept to us, and it's always been like, yeah, that nails it.
Just resonates, dude. There's a whole lineup of balls. We got to move all those things forward. They all need a little touch.
You can't do them all. You can't just be like, all right.
Yeah.
Like you have to focus on one at a time.
Yeah, I got to go find the Craylor made hat ball and kick it forward.
All in due time. All in
Yes.
due time.
Yeah.
To the comfort of the hats. I feel exactly the same way. Obviously, there are hats, so I'm very biased, but I've felt that way the whole time. I'm very particular about the shape and structure of my hat. Even some dope hats don't fit me right because they're, like you mentioned, a little too shallow, and it'll sit like right here on my head. So there's a little gap between my ears, and
Yeah.
when I had short hair, it didn't matter. Made no difference. Now, that little gap right there, it allows these hairs to come out from underneath, because I got to be like behind the ears.
You got like the
for
clown
comfort
wings.
and just like to have it tight, it's got to be behind the ears. So if the hat only goes down to here, there's that little gap. It's untenable. I can't wear it. I'm giving the hat away for Christmas this year.
And it feels
to
like
someone.
it keeps sliding up.
Yeah. It's going up and up and up. No, it's got to rest gently right up on the top of the ear where you can tuck the hair back, and then you're just all secured. Otherwise, I don't want anything to do with it.
Absolutely.
Dude, well, speaking of the hair, you sheath it a lot with the hat. Like, what's the hair story, man? Let's get into that a little bit, because you've had it since 9.
Yes.
So you've learned a lot.
I have. Certainly.
Where are we at these days?
Well, I guess I've had long hair for so long. First of all, I love long hair. I just think it's awesome, and I've had it for so long that I'm like, I'm just letting it ride.
Okay.
I've never understood the guys who are growing it out and they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm thinking of cutting it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's the deal? It's the coolest thing ever. Like, if you can pull it off, just let it ride.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Join the lettuce club.
There we go. Do you get comments
I was just
about
gonna
it?
ask that.
Yeah. I do. It's been interesting over the years, being younger, going from kind of getting picked on and made fun of to now people being like, you have such majestic hair. Can I touch it? I always think that's a funny question. I'm like, sure, I guess. But like, I don't know. I'm like, there's lots of people in the world with long hair. Why is mine that interesting? But yeah, I will get comments. In fact, one day, it was a couple weeks ago, I was in Walmart and this dude was like, bro, sick hair. I'm like, thanks. I turn the corner on another aisle and there's this like mom, and she's like, oh, you have such nice hair. And this is within like a minute of each other. I'm like, what?
Look at that. Double compliments.
Totally.
One aisle apart.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
Hey, when you're letting it ride, those kind of things happen. It's
Absolutely.
common. You talked about being picked on. You mean online, on your own videos?
Oh, online and in person.
Tell us just a little bit more about that, going through that experience as a kid.
Yeah, I would always get comments on my YouTube videos, like either people intentionally being like, this dude looks like a girl, or you need to go see the barber, or people just legitimately not realizing I was a guy and being like, great video, girl. And, kind of the same thing would happen in person. Like, some people knew I was a guy, they'd just pick on me just because. But like, I remember this one gig I was at, because I used to play in a band with my brother, still play drums
about that
from time to time, but used to be in a band with my brother, and we had this one gig we would play, and there was this old guy there who kept saying, like, he would like stand up in between songs and go, give the girl a drum solo, give the young lady a drum solo. And like, he legitimately just didn't realize that I was a boy.
Sure.
But like, stuff like that was humiliating for me to be like, oh my gosh, everyone else must be like either thinking I'm a girl or like just, it's so awkward, Yeah. But yeah, I think I just never really cared about what other people said. And I think that's been sort of the pattern in my life in many ways, is being an entrepreneur. You have all these people being like, what are you doing? You're not going to college. When are you going to go get a real job? And I'm like, I don't care.
Same time I go and cut my hair.
Exactly. That's a great reply. But it's been so crazy to see, like, as I've reached some success with my career, it's like everybody almost is flipping to the other side of like, you're doing great things and blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's kind of funny how the tables turn as you reach the other side of the bridge. In that regard.
Online, did that discourage you from wanting to keep making videos? Did you have coaching from your parents? Like, as a kid, that's hard to read mean comments on something that you just worked really hard and you're working at it and doing your best. How did you get through the discouragement?
Well, honestly, it never bothered me that much. I think I've benefited from being like so early on in the YouTube days that I almost didn't see comments as people. It was just like text on a screen. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, whatever, dismiss. Oh, this is a cool comment. And like now when I see a comment, I'm like, there's a human behind that wrote that. But early on, it was just like I almost didn't pay enough attention or care enough to really let it get to me.
Sure. Especially if it has nothing to do with your actual content. It's more like, oh, like I'm just attacking this guy.
Right.
You know, it would probably sting a little bit more if they're like, well, yeah, that's wrong about WordPress. And
right.
You don't know anything.
And,
you wannabe or whatever.
And that's still the case is like when I get comments attacking the content, you know, you got this fact wrong or like your opinion is wrong on this. Like that hurts a lot more to see than like whenever I get comments on new videos, like see a barber dude, I'm like,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
Net bangers. They call them.
Net bangers.
That's a pretty good segue into a blog post that you authored for us many years ago. I think you were about 17 at the time, maybe 18. It was long hair and confidence, the struggles of a long hair, and you went a little bit deeper into kind of what that confidence means and how it could be challenging. It sounds like some of your experience with YouTube helped build some of that confidence. But just speak to that topic and where that confidence has come from for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a journey over the years. You know, I went through a phase in the teenage years, I think right around when I wrote that blog post, of kind of feeling insecure about my hair, reaching that place of like, do I want to rock other styles? Like, what are people going to make fun of me if I do? And like, it was definitely this experimental phase of seeing like, what can I get away with in my friend group and like seeing, are people going to laugh? But I think I just really reached a place of like finding a community of people who just doesn't care. Like there's a lot of people. So I was homeschooled, but I went to they call it a tutorial. So I went once a week, took classes, got basically a week of homework that I would do at home. And like, sometimes the people in that tutorial just weren't the nicest. And like, I would like experiment and beta test and like try a different hairstyle and like gauge crowd response. And I think I reached a place when I graduated where I'm like, you know, I'm an adult, other people are adults. If people are going to make fun of me, that's their problem. And I just don't really care anymore.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
One of the things you talked about in that blog post was tying it up for the first time. You had never tied it up before.
Yeah.
And you wanted to kind of see what the reaction was going to be like. And that struck home for me because when I first grew my hair long in 2013, when it finally got long, I had the same exact thoughts. Like, can I tie it up? Should I tie it up? Is that cool? Is this acceptable?
Right.
And then eventually you're just like, all right, well, I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And that's kind of one of those first stepping stones and having confidence with wearing your hair however the hell you want to.
Yeah. And I think another aspect to that is just the world is changing. I mean, I noticed a difference from 5 years ago where it used to be like you'd stand out like crazy if you were a dude with long hair, or, you know, there were more and more jobs where it was like, you can't have hair like that and work here. And now it's like people just don't care, which I love. Yeah. I'm like, have whatever hairstyle you want.
Totally. Now you've talked about, you know, you've had some kind of drier scalp or some issues with your hair and stuff.
Yeah.
You like to wash it very often. What's like kind of your routine?
So I'm one of those people who doesn't like to use hair product. And it's not because I don't like the product or the ingredients. It's just I feel like it always weights it down, makes it greasy. And I think my hair is like naturally so greasy on its own that literally just washing it and conditioning it is all it needs. So I went through a period of figuring out how often do I need to wash my hair. I was always washing it daily because I'm a daily shower guy. I don't know how people don't shower every day. That's controversial, but I like to shower every day. So, you know, as I was growing my hair out and being, you know, in the awkward phase, I'm like, I just wash my hair every day. That's what I do. And so that just stuck until I got to the point of definitely like finding the long hairs, reading the blogs, being like, oh, maybe I should try every 2 to 3 days, and started experimenting. And for me, what that created was just like an itchy scalp, dandruff, all these issues to where, in fact, I got a confession to make. That's really what started the whole hat thing.
Okay.
And then it grew on me to where now I just love the way it looks. But
Sure.
like, it reached this point where I was noticing huge dandruff flakes in my videos, and I was like, nah, I got to do something while I sort this problem out. And so I started wearing the hats.
Okay.
But it wasn't until I went back to shampooing daily that everything cleared up. And I still do have like kind of a dry, flaky scalp, but
Yeah.
it's like much more under control now with daily shampooing. And I'll condition daily as well. And I mean, that's a match for my hair. Like anytime I try like a serum or just like some sort of product, I feel like it just clumps up and just looks like I like had a grease spill or something.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Just goes to show every person's hair and scalp type is different and has the results under different conditions. And I think you said it earlier, you know your hair best.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do have some new stuff that we'll
Yes.
send you back
Yeah.
east with that. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Some leave-in conditioner.
Yeah. You know,
That could work. Since you are big on conditioner, like
Oh,
that might be a
man.
good option for you.
Yeah, I was addicted to the Longhairs conditioner. The best stuff I've ever tried. I about cried when it was out of stock, and I was faced with reality that I would have to go down the women's hair care aisle and find a stand-in conditioner. And I literally cycled through like 3 different brands and went from, this is crap, I'm throwing it away, this is crap, I'm throwing it away, this is at least good enough to get me by until the new stuff drops.
Yeah.
I remember reaching out to you guys every month being like, when's it going to be in? When's it going to be in?
It was a rough go
Man.
back there.
As painful as it was for you, it was equally or more so painful for us.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
But fortunately for you, we are never going to be out of shampoo and conditioner again. So,
That's a bold statement.
yes, well, it's willing it into the universe here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we have already ordered our next batch, so we're
Great.
well on our way to achieving that.
Yep. And you got to see we got some good supply here.
You do. Yeah. Although I hear it's selling out, not selling out, but selling quick. So-
Yes.
It's moving quickly.
It's concerning how fast it's moving.
A lot of things are concerning.
But
Speaking of which, how about hair problems, long hair problems? We just sent out our recycle post on that topic. That was another first year content, but still a heavy hitter over the years. Talk about all the many issues that we experience. What are some of your long hair problems? How do you deal with them?
You know, I think my biggest long hair problem at this point is whenever I wear a hoodie. The darn hood. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
The
dude,
fabric,
mess.
the friction, it creates a massive rat's nest in my hair. And, you know, this is another one of those creative wardrobe things. I started just wearing crew necks because I like the vibe. They're kind of in again, but they also don't have hoods.
yeah.
Because every time I wear a hoodie, I regret it the next day. Whenever I brush my hair, it takes me twice as long, and I'm like, I'm creating so much breakage getting through this, and like it's taking twice the normal amount of time, and like that's been a annoying problem in the winter for me. And
Yeah.
of course, wearing glasses, I saw the one of you take your glasses off and your hair's caught in it, and there's nothing worse than the feeling of when you know your hair just broke,
Right.
and you're like, I can't get that back.
And it hurt.
And it hurt. There's nothing more infuriating. I'm like, someone could probably punch me and I would be less mad than like just feeling, hearing, seeing my hair break and being like, no.
Especially like running
Ripping.
into the bank or the UPS store or something. You're focused on something entirely different, and
Yes.
suddenly your attention is shifted to the pain.
Or, you know,
Anguish.
here's the other one is like you sit down in a plastic folding chair and somehow
Yes.
your hair finds a way to get caught in the back of it.
Dude.
And you're doing this weird, it looks like you're glued to your seat. You're trying to get up and you're like, what do I do? Do I just go for it and it's going to break? Do I like reach back and like try to get it unstuck and
Just pick up the whole chair with your hair?
Yeah. I went on a fair ride the other day and my hair got stuck to the seat on the ride, and I'm doing this number and like everyone else is leaving the ride, and I'm like, I don't have any other choice. I gotta just go for it.
Just rip it out.
Yeah.
Dude, the folding chair is awful. Nemesis. There are some that have especially like little sharp edges or something that catch your hair. I've sat in before. It is terrible. You cannot, the whole glued to the seat thing absolutely resonates.
Hilarious.
And the hoodie also, or even if it's like a big collar.
Yes.
It's like your hair tries to go down, but then it pops back up because of the thing, and it is just an absolute nightmare.
Yep.
And then you got to think when you're putting the hoodie on, well, okay, do I just leave all my hair down and underneath the sweatshirt?
Yes.
But then inevitably you end up pulling it out, and then that starts happening. I found really almost the only way I could wear a hoodie legitimately is doing like a side braid.
Yeah.
And I have it coming out, and it doesn't get all tangled up and matted and rats nested up from the hood.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's a legitimate long hair problem.
You know, I saw a Shark Tank pitch the other day. It was for this hoodie that has a satin liner in the hood, and it was for people that have that problem. And I was like, oh my gosh, I might need to order this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Worth a shot. Going to be hard to make it the long road with just a single product with the satin hood. But great entry. Sounds like we need to give it a shot.
Yeah, she walked out with a deal.
She did?
So, yeah, she did.
It's pretty amazing how many companies on that show just have a single product.
I know.
And really like no content or anything. It's just like pump money into ads and just sell that thing. Some of them crush. Some of them probably phase out.
Yeah, I saw someone walk in the other day, and they had like no sales, just one product, and they were asking for like $10,000 for 20%. And they literally said up front, like, we're here just to like have someone give us a deal, because what do you have to lose? And it was funny to see like 3 or 4 sharks just ripping them apart. And then one shark is like, 10 grand for 20%, it's a deal. I got nothing to lose. And I'm like, that's so funny. They literally got exactly what they were asking for.
Was that an older episode or something?
I think it was
that
from the current
seems like such
season.
a low number.
No, it was from the current season.
Oh, it was?
There were
Okay.
also people asking for like 600,000 for 3%. It's gotten ridiculous in the current episodes where I'm like, man, inflation must really be going crazy, because
The degree to which people overinflate the value of their company is just baffling.
yeah,
It is.
Oh, we're worth $10 million.
Yeah.
because we had
How many sales do you have? Well, we're
800,000.
pre-launch.
Yeah.
We have no sales.
Well, we have a patent, so the IP is worth $10 million.
Yeah.
We took a very humble approach in our appearance. We didn't feel even philosophically like we could make the argument that our company was worth $1 million. Hence, we asked for $90,000 for 10%. That would have put our valuation at $900,000. We didn't have the sales to show it. I mean, we believed, of course, that it was worth far more than that to us, but taking an overinflated approach into the tank is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think it's worth really doesn't matter
Yeah.
No,
at all.
not at all.
So, yeah,
But it's
I
fun to
haven't,
see
I haven't
them
tuned
try.
into Shark Tank for a while.
No, I
gotta
haven't, but
check
that
it
makes
out.
me want to watch some episodes. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I would love to catch a few.
Dang, it's probably on season freaking 20 plus now or something.
I think they're only on 13.
Oh yeah, probably approaching 15.
Yeah.
I know they just started another new season.
Probably 14.
It's hard to know like what, because it's like they do 2 new seasons a year sometimes.
Oh, do
it
they?
doesn't go by the year.
Oh,
or it's like off
okay.
on the year.
Doesn't match the calendar year.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
The seasons don't.
Exactly.
El Valiente. Tell us about your nickname.
Yeah. So,
Is it the Valiant one?
yes. Yeah.
Dude, goes right in with the confidence. You're a valiant soul. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, when I picked that name, I was looking for something that meant like courageous, brave, because I always felt like the outcast in that phase of my life of being the oddball in the room. And not just with my hair. Like, I was just always that kid where I felt like nobody really understood what was cooking in my brain. Like, just kind of awkward, standing in the corner. Everyone else is playing basketball or doing whatever they're doing. And I was never into sports. I was never into just, like, normal kid things. I mean, I played a few video games in my life, but I've never actually owned a game console in my entire life.
Wow.
It's not interesting to me. So I was always cooking up some sort of business venture or like way of like making money and, you know, just all awkward in the corner and thinking like, if people only knew what was going on inside my brain and like understood what I was trying to accomplish, they'd probably look at me differently.
Sure.
But I think that's where that name came from, is like just trying to display kind of how I felt internally at that time.
Dude, heck yeah. Love that.
It's a phenomenal message, man. To me, it speaks like you don't have to be like the big courageous warrior or the jock guy, or you think of courage and Valiant as like the warrior or the athlete or the big whatever, that kind of persona that's characterized. And the message is, that's not what it's all about. It's about what's in your heart and what's in your mind and the person that you are. And that's just an extremely fitting nickname for you. And I think it's inspiring to a lot of people who are like you, who are maybe the oddball, or whether it's for the hair. We all are the oddball when it comes to the hair. But for whatever, not being into the classic kid things or whatever else, I think it's just a fine message for a lot of people out there. And I think you got a lot of inspiration, man. It's badass to have you part of the community.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
And the willingness to do the work.
Yes.
A lot of
dude.
people don't have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody wants to get rich quick or do this, or I'm going to be an influencer or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. And like, you guys have been a big inspiration. Maybe you don't realize on the content side, but like, you guys just seeing your operation has pushed me to do weekly content. And even like, I've gotten a lot more organized with templates and storyboarding and all this stuff just from seeing like the sheet that you have for your blog posts every week. And
heck yeah.
that was all stuff where I was like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
It took me a while to like truly get that implemented right. I more just like talked about it for a few years and said like, I need to do that. But finally I've gotten to a place of implementing something kind of similar, and it's
Dude,
been a
sick.
game changer.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude, yes. Why don't you tell our audience where they can find you and Craylor Made? It's craylormade.com. What other platforms and channels can we find you on?
Yeah, you can find my main website at craylor.media, and that'll link you out to my YouTube channel, all my social media. Really, everything's linked there. Craylor Made is my YouTube channel.
It's a slick site, so you got to check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of like my main, almost like my sub-brand per se, my
Okay.
main like content brand. But yeah, Craylor.media will get you to my main website, or craylormade.com. That'll get you to my content with my YouTube channel. And yeah, everything is linked there.
Killer, man.
Tight.
Well, you know, we're a little over a year coming up quick here on The Great Cut.
Yes.
Are you going to make another appearance to San Diego?
I might.
Okay.
It's still cooking up here, but
Well,
you know,
save up some of that
you-
YouTube money so you can get a plane
Yeah.
ticket out here.
Yeah, you know, I always tell people when they're like, how long are you growing your hair? I'm like, as long as I can grow it. There's no end goal. They're like, why? I'm like, first of all, I like having long hair, and I'm just enjoying it while I have it because genetics aren't on my side with hair. But the other thing is like, I tell them about The Great Cut. I'm like, yo, there's these guys, they do this donation event. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to participate, but I at least want the option.
Yeah.
So the longer I can get my hair, the better.
Hey, at the very least, just come out and hang.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't have to donate, but
for you, Christian, and everyone listening, you can come and you do not have to cut your hair. You will be granted a waiver of honor. No one is going to force you to cut your hair, but we would love to have you even just there. You are participating and supporting just by being there.
Yeah.
And then you can decide on the hair. And if you decide to keep it, that's fine too.
I just might have to make a trip.
I'm pretty sure once you're in the building, you feel the vibe, you see everything, you're like, I'm going to donate.
Yeah.
Let it rip. That happened to a lot of people. I wasn't going to tell him that, but just get him there first, and then he can experience it for himself.
So are you going all out this time?
Going all in.
Oh, man. And you're going, what, like shoulder length? Or
Yeah,
are you
I'm going to go, I'll feel it out that day, but I'm not going to shave it to the skin like I did last time.
Yeah. One of the co-founders has to keep the long
Yeah, you got to keep that
right,
to tradition
for product
now.
testing
Yeah, totally. The journey back, keep the
Yeah.
awkward stage content rolling.
Yep.
For me, this length is pretty much ideal.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit shorter, but this is where I like my hair.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna let it grow. I just trimmed it the other day, like
Nice.
3 inches off. Just gonna go from here, tell the great cut, and then we'll see where we go.
Yeah.
I think one of the first times ever, a couple of weeks ago, I was doing something and my hair just kept coming in my face and just absolutely pissed me off. I was finally like, I can't wait to cut it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the great cut.
Now you actually have something. You have an excuse to cut it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
And it was just a fleeting moment, mind you, You just got to bear through those moments when the hair is in your face and in your spaghetti. But
it's the one time you untie the scissors.
yeah, exactly.
Is there like
when the shears come undone?
Yeah, there should be like a limited edition merch item that's like the scissors.
We have a
being
T-shirt
untied.
that
Do
has the
you?
scissors untied. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
It's a great cut shirt. It looks really awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we do have something. We could probably put that on a hat maybe too, which would be pretty cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
That's a ball that's going to need to get pushed forward at some point.
The great cut. Yeah,
Many
that's a big
other-
ball. Needs to
Many
start
other
rolling.
balls need to be pressed.
Yeah. Well, shit, dude. That's an hour already. Time flies when you're under the lights.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Awesome having you, man.
Yeah.
Great to have you in person. We've been, connected online for over 4 years now. You've been a great contributor, and it was only a matter of time before we got to host you here at the HQ.
Heck yeah, man. Keep busting your butt, dudes. We want to see another 10 years of content here.
Yeah, thanks for having me out, and keep up the good work too with all the product drops and everything.
Yeah. Hey, anytime you want to contribute too
Yeah,
to the blog, let's do it.
absolutely.
All right.
The content machine will continue to produce
Yes.
endlessly. That does it from Let It Ride at the Longhairs HQ. Until next time, boys, dogs by 90. See ya!